Today we're going to have a look at what happens if you get fertilizer wrong. So let's roll the intro and get to work. So yeah, just sticking some oats in this field, which is going to be our test field. Quick shout out to the channel members before we get that done. Thanks, I really appreciate the support that you guys provide. So yeah, we're on my test farm again on Elm Creek, field 78. Currently the nitrogen is awful, it's down at about 20. So we're going to plant some oats, which need about 120 units of nitrogen. I think they're quite low. There's a reason I picked one that's quite low. So we're going to harvest it like this, so with basically the minimum amount of nitrogen. We'll see what happens to the yield. We're going to close the game, reload this save, so I'm going to keep using the same field. So lime is perfect, done everything else. Then going to do perfect fertilization, and we'll see what happens with that with the yield. We're then going to throw as much nitrogen as we can onto the field to see what that does to the yield, and then a little bonus at the end. I found a little way of boosting the yield even more, so we'll cover that at the end of the video. So just quickly got that planted, skip forward a couple of days and ready to harvest with a bad nitrogen level. So if you, I don't know, if you forgot to apply nitrogen and left it too late, then this is the yield you're going to get and how it's going to affect what you get compared to if you did it perfectly. Or you might just decide not to do it. You might just decide to take the hit when you see what the numbers are. Up to you, I guess. And yeah, over applying nitrogen can also be a problem, particularly with a crop like oats, which doesn't really need very much. Yeah, if you go too heavy on the manure before you plant it, you might realize that actually you've applied too much nitrogen, and is that going to give you a big hit on yield? So did this video with FS19 and it seemed reasonably popular, so I thought I'd do it again and see how it works with FS22. So first harvest done, 4,930 litres of oats. So reloaded and now applying perfect fertilization. Just using the auto fertilizer level. I've got the crop scanner on the front, but it's not switched on at the moment. So yeah, perfect nitrogen levels. Let's crack in and get this harvested. We'll see what we get, I guess. See how much more we get. I find doing stuff like this is the best way to find out what happens with different things in precision farming and learn how they work. Or you can watch my videos, I guess, and other people's videos. Scroff's doing some awesome videos on this stuff as well. Not really watched anyone else's. I've watched Scroff ones, and we've chatted a bit on his Discord about some of the things. So the issue with the crop scanner that I mentioned in the grass video, we've spoken about that a little bit, and he's done a bit more work on it, and he has a video on it which I haven't watched yet. But yeah, so we're already pretty much got more than we got without fertilizing at all. We end up with 5,499 litres, so we get 10% less when we didn't fertilize. So I am now chucking on a layer of manure. So it's the same field, so it had the same low nitrogen level. We're chucking manure on, that's bringing us up to about 80 to 100 units of nitrogen, which is pretty much enough for oats. So this is pretty close to being perfect oat fertilization in one pass with the manure spreader. We're going to jump back in the little 6M and we're going to put in manual fertilization, and we're going to crank it up as high as we can go. So we're adding another 220 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare at the moment. The display doesn't even show how much nitrogen we're putting on this field now. You probably wouldn't ever do this, but you know, it's an interesting test. So it shows 220 units, which I think is the max the game will register. Ready to harvest, so let's get in the combine and get this harvested. And while this is running through, I'll talk through the results. So when we finish harvesting this field, we end up with, and I'll put the numbers up on the screen now, we end up with 5,357 litres of oats. So over fertilizing doesn't give you a big hit. We applied pretty much double the amount of nitrogen you need. It's only a 2-3% hit on your yield, so if you do over apply, don't worry, you'll be fine, your field will be good. The other thing that I did was to save and reload and then run over the field with the crop sensor on. Because as I said in the grassland video, I don't see the crop sensor doing anything. Scroft has done some stuff and got some really nice pictures of showing it actually giving you higher resolution scanning of the nitrogen levels. I have not seen that in the tests that I have done. I don't know if it's something with the setup that I've got on my graphic settings or what. I'm not seeing that. But what I did find is if I went over the field with the crop sensor on the front of the 6M turned on, I got a bonus of about 2.5% extra crop. On the scale that we did this field, it doesn't work out that much. It's about 100 litres more. It's not a lot, but in theory it means you're maybe using a bit less fertilizer as well. I didn't look at how much fertilizer we used, so I need to look more at how this crop scanner works, and I'm going to when I get a chance, maybe over the weekend. The crop scanner is doing something. I guess the other thing is with the crop scanner, you need to wait until the crops are fairly well grown. So I applied that fertilizer the stage before ready to harvest, pretty much. So in the blurb about that sensor, it needs to have enough foliage on the crop, so the big green leaves out, to be able to read the amount of nitrogen in the plant. So a lot of the other tests that I've done with that were with harvested crop, so it wouldn't work. So it only works when the crop is more established, and so I need to do some more tests with that. But my initial testing does show that compared to just using the automatic fertilizer application, which gives you perfect fertilization according to Giants, if you turn the crop sensor on, you get more. That doesn't make sense to my brain. If the fertilization is perfect, it's perfect. But it's Giants. So it's just to summarize. If you under fertilize, you're going to take about a 10% hit in yield. If you over fertilize, you're going to take a couple of percent hit in yield. So if you do over fertilize, I wouldn't worry. If you do perfect fertilization and you have a crop sensor on, you're going to get a little bit more from my very quick initial test. I'm going to do some more detailed testing on it, and I am going to put a video out. But that's pretty much it, folks. So thanks for watching. If you found the video useful, please click the like button and leave me a comment below. If you are new to the channel and you aren't, please click subscribe and turn on notifications. About 2/3 of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you're one of those 2/3 of the people, please click the subscribe button. It really helps. And there's the channel membership, buying me a coffee, all that stuff. If you want to. If you don't, just ignore that bit, and I'll catch you next time for more testing with precision farming.